This is draffet store, and this one is going to be a little bit heated. This is on the Boston bombing. Now, I got the news like everybody else. I was listening at work when it happened. A fellow employee who's no longer there made the comment that there was a bombing at the Boston Marathon. Now, how I look at it and how the rest of the world looks at it, and is neither here nor there. My personal opinion is that there's something funny with the whole bombing. Okay, the fact that there's pictures of bombing runs, and it's a pun on word, but bombing runs, or AE, a test run to see how to get emergency response quick and easy. It was done at a marathon that was being run, which personally I have no idea why you would do that in the first place unless you had ulterior motives. But that said, and then supposedly across the news we have a bomb go off, or bombs go off. So I have an issue with it because I have seen both the news media at CNN, MSN, Fox, and all of their subsidiaries push the whole, these two kids did this, and this is what's happening. And I've also seen the conspiracy theorist side with supposed heroes standing on the sidelines waiting for their cue. Pictures of amputee that supposedly happened in the bombing, and before and after, before pictures and after pictures from the whatever. I'm not saying that nobody got hurt, because in a situation like this where government is involved, somebody always gets hurt. It doesn't matter if it's a physical or an emotion thing, somebody always gets hurt. So the downplaying that somebody did or did not get hurt is not my intention with this video. My intention for this video is to show that just because the media says one thing does not mean that what is actually going on is reality. The reality is that Boston Marathon went on, bombs went off, who the actual suspects were, not even words, who the actual bombers were is suspect to term I want to use, suspect to, or subjective to what the media has portrayed actually happening. Now, the reason why I say this, we're getting all sorts of videos of these two Chechnyan boys, and I stress boys because they are old enough to be either my youngest brother or my child. Either way, okay. And to be honest, there's video of the brother that supposedly shot, and I watched the video, so you understand, I watched the video, that was supposedly shot and killed in handcuffs. I've seen the pictures of, like I stated before, of heroes of the bombing sitting on the sidelines waiting for their cue to help run in and do whatever. I've seen pictures of Steven Spielberg, his just a mugshot with him in a white and blue nylon jumper, blue stripes, helping people run along. I've seen people standing in the back room with cue cards at the same event, holding up, and this is where you're supposed to be. So there's a good possibility that the brothers that are involved are actually actors from the test, where the mainstream, and patsies, where the mainstream media is portraying them as evil, vile, and ruthless, whatever. I don't know that personally, so I am holding my reservations because it's federal government, the media, and whatever stating that this is what they did, with very, I stress, very limited evidence that they actually did it. And two prime examples on that is that there is two Saudi nationals who were the thought of as them, given, slapped aside, and they're like, oh no, they're fine, they're not the ones, who actually look like these two brothers. And the backpacks that they're actually carrying match the bombs more so than the Chechnyan brothers' backpacks do. Okay, the bomb used backpacks are black with certain things. The backpack used by the brothers, one is an off-white and the other one's a dark gray. Neither one of them is black. Now, I mean, after a bomb explosion, both of them could look black, but I mean, fundamentally, the way that they look is black. Wrong design, wrong everything. And they just show them walking around it from different camera angles, walking around Boston. Now, getting back to the other evidence against the media and whatever, is the fact that the media is pushing that these two boys are terrorists and evil without, and here's the thing, they're nationalized American citizens, meaning that they got their green card before this event happened, which means that they are subjected to U.S. law, meaning the Constitution of the United States, which means an individual is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law, not CNBC, MSN, the Boston PD, or Barack Obama, the Constitution of the United States. So, for them to be vilified as criminals when they may or may not have done it is a whole, and I know there's a lot of people, well, he ran over his brother, he ran away, why would they run? If you're a patsy and somebody and the police are coming for you, and there's a possible chance that they're using you as a scapegoat to get away and you might die, you're going to run too. I guarantee it. Not to clear your name, not to, you're not going to run to the people that are setting you up. You're going to be running away from them. Because there's a possible chance you might die. So I understand why the boys ran. I understand the whole situation. Now, the general populace, there's a certain percentage, and I won't even go into percentage and all that, there's a certain percentage of the general populace that believes these two boys are guilty. Nothing else because the media says so. You're a fucking idiot. Just because the media tells you it's true does not make it a truth. Okay? Just because the media is using propaganda to push something into you does not mean it is the truth. Now, the reason why I say this, there's scientific evidence that proves that corn is bad for you. Yet the media and certain agencies are pushing it to show you that it's good for you and it's about, you need it. But there's scientific, and if you do the research you'll find it, scientific data that shows that corn is bad for human beings. Wheat is bad for human beings. And yet it's been propagated that it is good for you. So, getting back to these boys, if the news media tells you that they're evil, if you are a sheeple, you will believe that they are evil and did it without using your brains, looking at all of the information, and coming to a conclusion based on all of the information. I have not spent like 9 hours or 25 hours or 100 hours researching this. I probably spent whole tops an hour, hour and a half watching both. The news media's attempt to show me and tell me, and I stress tell me, what happened over information showing that, hey, look at this. They're telling you this, but look at this. So I sat down and I looked at everything and compared it, and the information is, by my perception, is wrong. There's something more going on, especially when most of the people that do not understand that at the time of this, in the Waco fertilizer explosion, another bill, President Obama was trying to get the gun ban passed, and was talking about getting an executive order. So you understand executive order. Executive order is what caused the Federal Reserve and income taxes to be implemented. Executive order is what caused the Patriot Act, which is constitutionally illegal, to be passed. Because the House and Senate said, no, people can have, an M15, they can have an AR-15, they can have any semi-automatic weapon that, as long as they follow the other guidelines. So you have to sit there and look at what is not, in the terms of magician's smoke and mirror, what this hand is doing and pushing in here. You have to pay attention to what's going on here. Because with Washington and politicians, they will tell you, and they will use the media to show you that this is going on. When in actuality, they're trying to push through something that they're telling you this. And with that, CISPA, C-I-S-P-A. I am not going to go into what the whole short name means, but it is a cyber intelligence act that would allow the United States federal government to go to Google, which includes YouTube, Facebook, Yahoo, and any other business that your electronic internet stuff, being that you're going to be watching this on there, and asked for your personal information without a warrant. And while you're watching the bombing, your rights were being taken away. Now, the other thing about the bombing, there was a few other things that happened in this week, so most people don't understand. It's hard for me to understand why a 19-year-old boy, would, a bombing victim or not, Timothy McVeigh bombed the building in Oklahoma 20 years ago. Actually 18 years, 1995, April, same week that this happened. And it took the FBI, police agencies, over 2.5 months-ish to find him to prove that he did the bombing. In a city as big as Boston, or, well, we'll say about the same size as Boston, but, I'm just skewering things here, but you'll get the idea. And it took that long to find them. Yet this whole step of the way, it's like the Boston PD knew exactly where this boy was at. They implemented internet usage to, hey, have you seen this person and do this. We have television usage here between Channel 7, Channel 4, and CBS 62 of people who've been suspects that have killed people or robbed banks that still have not been caught using footage of the crime that happened. A year, 2 years, and they still have not caught him. They did not close down Detroit because this guy killed 1 or 2 or 3 people. Whether it was a bombing or a knifing or a gunning. Yet Boston gets shut down. SWAT, National Guard, and the FBI running around in full regalia with small government tanks not full-blown, military tanks, but the police SWAT tanks, running around, going house to house, searching people's property, which is illegal. It is one step away from martial law. And what most people don't understand is, if you actually look at the information, you will realize that Boston was used as a staging ground to see how the U.S. populace would accept martial law. Okay, for a 19-year-old boy that killed less people in one, or not even killed, a 19-year-old boy and his 27-year-old brother that supposedly killed 3 people and injured 18 total, while in other parts of the world 13 people were killed by a gunman. 27 people were killed by a drone plane sponsored by, you guessed it, Barack Obama. Cafe bomber blew up a building, injuring 100 and something other people and killing roughly 35 people. I mean, I'm skewing the numbers here, but if you don't believe me, go to our TV news, go to any news source other than U.S. news source, and you will find how many people died that day other than the 3% in Boston. Now, being an American, I should be all, 3 people died in an American, blah, blah. No. It's 3 people dying. Okay, that's 3 people out of 350 million to 400 million people. That many people die, okay, annually from AIDS, cancer, accidents, gun shootings, gun stabbings, poisonings, car accidents, fatal overdosing with drugs and alcohol. And I'm supposed to worry that this boy is killing 3 people and he might do it again when the cigarette industry is killing more people than he is, and it is not being stopped. The flu virus has killed more people in a year than he has. It's the fact that people die, plain and simple. I'm not trying to say that these lives are any more important or least important than anybody else's. My statement is that people die. It is what we do. You're born, to quote Iron Maiden, the minute you're born, you're dying. And it's the truth. It doesn't matter how you die. It's how you live. And when you're living to believe propaganda over fact, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. This is Draffet Store. Have fun.